After speakers, what's next? I like this question, and it comes from Michael in Indianapolis, Indiana. You've explained that we should first put our hard-earned dollars into our speaker systems. Yes, that's your first job, since everything else comes after this. Well, I've taken your advice to heart. Whoa, somebody listened to my advice. I was fortunate to become the second owner of a pristine set of Infinity IRS betas. I love them. I have a set. They were Arnie's favorite speakers. He liked them better than the IRS. I don't, but I love the IRS betas. The original owner passed away, and this set became available through his estate sale. Wow! Now I know what you mean by a revealing pair of speakers. Yes! Good for you, Michael. Holy cow, man! So here's my question. For those of us who are on a budget, and who isn't, and plan our equipment in stages, what's next? What's after speakers? Amps? DACs? I mean, where do you go after that if you're going to build a system? Wow. Well, first off, thank you for watching these series and for paying attention, because I truly believe in my heart we start with the speakers, and I would tell that to anybody. Get your speakers right. Do the best you can. Pour what money you have into the speakers, and then start filling in the rest next, okay? So what should be next? Well, I hate to say it because it's probably going to be boring, but the amplifier. I like to work the chain backwards. And I'll tell you, and amplifiers are as boring as they come. They're just, where's an amplifier? Here's an amplifier. Here, hold on, I'm going to grab an amplifier. You can't. Oh! And apologies to Ohm's Law listeners, but I'm holding an amplifier. This is a stellar amplifier. Look at how boring this is. It's a box, right? And on the back, you got output connectors and you got input connectors. There's no controls. There's nothing to do with it. It's just a silly box that has power. And it is probably, next to a regenerator, the most boring product in all of audio's history, because you don't interact with this product. It's just a lump of stuff that sits there and does its job. And that's, sorry, but amps are boring. But they're necessary. And not only are they necessary, but consider, if you followed my advice and you chose a great pair of loudspeakers, well, now it comes down to connecting them. And here is where synergy really, really matters. If you bought the Infinity IRS betas, which Michael said he did, right? You need to be very specific with that amplifier. The IRS betas never were very happy with traditional solid state amplifiers that were very articulate and antiseptic sounding. I mean, those speakers hated those. They were designed on tube equipment, and you need to have at least something by a designer who has taken the time to make it sound like a tube, to give it that warmth and to not make sterile antiseptic sound, which a lot of people consider super accurate, right? Now, some speakers I'm exaggerating here and I'm paraphrasing, but some speakers are big and bloated and they really want an articulate, sterile amplifier to balance them out. The IRS betas want the opposite, right? So as you're building your system, if you can start at the loudspeakers, which is what we recommend, then you work your way backwards. Let me give you another example. We are building our own loudspeakers because we want to solve a big problem that we see in audio today. And that big problem in audio today is exactly what we're talking about. This mixing and matching of infinities to threshold to PS audio to audio research. I mean, it's fun, yeah, but it's all over the map. And we're leaving it up to the poor customer to try and figure out, how the hell am I going to get what I actually want audio magic. That's what we're looking for, right? We want magic out of our systems. Well, our approach is going to be to build the entire system. Then we can guarantee you magic, okay? But we haven't done that yet. Anyway, that's a digression. But as we build our speakers are going to be full range, true full range. They will have amplified woofers, and they'll have amplified mid-bass and DSP to correct all the bass problems in a room. And you'll be able to put them up against a wall and have them image and all that kind of good stuff, right? So let's imagine that you bought our speakers whenever they're available, probably the end of 2019. So let's not get excited about them now. Well, the kind of amplifier that you want for that, all of a sudden, changes dramatically from, say, a set of Kef blades. A set of Kef blades, you know, those gorgeous Kef speakers, they need some serious horsepower, and they need an amplifier that can really move the bottom end and that is tight and right for that kind of speaker. Otherwise, you won't have any bass. Not with a pair of our speakers. Our speakers have the bass and the amplification system built in. So now you can have an amplifier that is specific to wonderful sounds on the mid-range and the top end. And our system will be efficient. So I'm not trying to make a pitch for our system. What I'm trying to do is explain that the amplifier and its interaction with the speaker is absolutely critical. So that's the boring part that you need to do next, Michael. Pick your amplifier, because the way it mates to that speaker will determine a lot about the way it sounds. And then from there, keep working yourself back down the chain. The preamp next, then the DAC, and blah, 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 whatever you're going to do. I mean, you got to decide if you're going vinyl or CD. Anyway, I've rambled long enough. Start from the output and work your way back for maximum synergy. Okay? Thanks. Great question. And I appreciate it. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.